So guess who just had a rather horrendous scare just before. Last time, obviously, as you remember, I went and caught the Reggies, and I set the video to upload while I went to sleep, and so I woke up about maybe 40 minutes to an hour ago. I had a look at the thumbnails, and I got quite the fright. I actually noticed that there were two of them showing a Regirock, but one of them actually showed it with a darker color. And so I had legitimately thought that I had come across a shiny Regirock without even realizing it and had thus lost it. I can tell you right now that no such thing actually did happen. The reason that you would see, like if you did see that thumbnail, the reason that thumbnail actually appears as it is because whenever a Pokemon breaks out of a Premier Ball, there is like a shade of red that emerges from the Premier Ball with the Pokemon itself, and it actually made the Regirock appear darker in color in that thumbnail as opposed to the other thumbnail, which I've set the video to show with Regirock in its regular coloration. So you can rest assured I did not come across a shiny Regirock at any point in yesterday's segment. Everything is fine, nothing is ruined. We can just move the fuck on and ditch this popsicle stand of a region, finally. Okay, I think we've managed to get that out of the way. I'm thankful that my lost shiny count remains at 2. I think I've already gone on about the shinies that I've lost before. I might as well repeat them here. The first of the two that I lost was a Magikarp all the way back in Silver. I can't remember how I lost it. I may have... Yeah, I honestly can't even remember how I lost it. I either ran out of Pokeballs or accidentally killed it or ran out of space in the box, because it's possible to have done that in the first 2 generations. But the point is, at the end of the day here, I did not succeed in capturing it. The other one I lost was a shiny Marill in Diamond, which is in the Great Marsh, and despite having a catch rate of 190, it broke out at the equivalent of a Great Ball without shaking once and then took off immediately. It was very, very, very annoying. So, there you go. Now we take about 2 steps, not even that, 1 step, and we just get sort of bumped into by this old Todger. And so the side quest involves looking for one random little girl for whatever reason. Yeah, and you actually get a cabin in this game, in this ship. It has a PC for switching around Pokemon, of course, and a bed for you to sleep in and heal your Pokemon. Obviously, I won't be needing that right now, but what the hell is this? Looks like a fire alarm or something like that. It's probably the first thing I would have guessed. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of trainers that we need to fight in here before we move on to the Kanto region. So let's get ourselves cracking. I should probably have switched over to the amulet coin here for these battles, because I don't think choice specs is going to be that necessary. Then again, our first trainer is packing a very fully evolved level 55 Typhlosion. Yeah. Spec Surf for the one-shot? Spec Surf for the one-shot. Good stuff. I'm quite happy with that. Not a whole lot of cash stack normally, though, so I think we will give up the boost in special attack here, because I'm not that fussed if it's going to be a Typhlosion. I don't think Typhlosion can do that much to me anyway. So, where is that amulet coin? Yeah, you can have that. I should probably give it to somebody else, actually. Actually, yeah, I'll give it to Traptrix, because I don't think Traptrix is going to get too much benefit from the Miracle Seed, so I might as well give her the thing. Plus, she's one of the 2 lower-leveled Pokemon on the team, so it would make sense to leave with her to get her caught up with the rest, along with Bulbat. So, there's that schmuck taken out. I don't know how many trainers you have to fight in this area. There's just a random... Yeah, he's totally awake. Yeah, we'll have to come back and deal with him a little bit later. Nobody in here. Another fire alarm, looks like. 2 people here. I couldn't tell where they bloody well were because of the frickin' glitchiness of the dialogue. Or the glitchiness of the sprites, even. And here we have a Delibird. And the Delibird just uses Seed Bomb, okay? You want to explain why you keep using Seed Bomb? That's better. Use Air Slash. And just laugh in my face after taking like 2 or 3 turns to realize that this thing has insomnia. Or vital spirit. There's 2 of those. Heal. Thank you, because I kind of just want you to stick with your seed bombs while I get up a sword stance and murder you into the middle of next week. RIP. Used a bit more resources than I really should have there. Stop with the glitchiness. Oh god, twins. Okay, that calls for another hyper potion here. That sounds good. Okay, had to stand right in front of them for them to see me. Whatever. Meg and Peg. Jesus Christ. Peg must now frickin' remind me of Batman and Robin, because I think that was like the password that Barbara had to put in to like find all the stuff about the frickin' Batcave and become Batgirl. Because it was very, very stupid. I'm amazed that I still have brain cells after having watched that film so many frickin' times. But looks like I'm pretty well suited to dealing with both of these. Bulbat should be able to tank the Shadow Ball reasonably easy. Special defense drop doesn't matter for me. Yeah, I'll be right to take care of this, because Crunch will put Dribbler on its ass, and then Cross Poison is a 2 KO, so that results in that. Good stuff. Aftermath almost kills Trap Tricks, but she tanks like a beast. Well done. Did you buy me something? I believe at this point now she's just going to buy you nothing but berries. So I probably should just draw out all the money that I left with her, but I have no real reason to do that, so she can just hang on to that cash stack and, like, blow it on hookers or some shit like that, I don't know. Anyways, time for the return of the Pokemon playthrough of the day. I've not had one for the last 2 segments, but obviously because I had Regis to catch and then I had a Pokemon League to knock over beforehand. So we get a triumphant return, except it's not really that triumphant because this is probably one playthrough that I have no real need to talk about at great length, but I'm going to do so anyway, just for the sake of completion. The reason I don't feel the need to talk about it is because the next playthrough in line is Pokemon Fire Red Omega, specifically the LP that I did on this channel 2 years ago. So if you've seen that, you pretty much already know what kind of stuff I accomplished in that game. But I'll go through the team what I used and try to remember how awesome they all were. I started off with the Smoochum, didn't use it of course. I went into it with only one planned team member, much like this LP, and that one planned team member was a Staryu. I named it Homestar because there was a star. Not very original, unfortunately, but it was satisfactory. Its special attack wasn't quite as great as I would have liked for it to be. It was basically type coverage, Psychic Surf, I think Ice Beam, might have had Recover, I'm not too sure. I know it had Thunderbolt. But it was just there for the generic type coverage. You'd kind of expect that coming from a Starmie to just have those, just have a different assortment of special moves to use, and they just didn't work out that well. So there's the old man, which means I would say that I'm about done with this area. Let's see, talk to this schmuck. Okay, I can actually do that because I have access to a PC just over... No, not here. In here. Let's see. Let's see what this schmuck wants for showing me a freaking Fion. This Fion sprite looks a lot darker than it should. It's a bit weird. But whatever. Hello. Indeed. Oh god, really? Okay, that's obnoxious. I can't get Manaphy until I've gotten all the Kanto badges either, so I'm gonna have to come back here a little bit later and remember that actually exists. But whatever. It's fine. Yeah, you need to get the Earth badge, which requires the other 7 Kanto badges in order to get Manaphy. There's just some random schmuck that gives you an egg for it once you have achieved that goal. Obviously, I do not have said goal achieved for very obvious reasons. Now, is there a schmuck in here? There is a juggler. And of course, he's seasick. And unlike the Captain in Fire Emblem and Leaf Green, you do not have the opportunity to see inside the bucket. You also didn't have to battle the schmuck that was seasick. Not that I'm really caring that greatly for it at the moment, because I can just Sword Stance and Crunch Sweep this idiot into the middle of next week. And then Crunch this thing in the middle of next week. It outspeeds me, but whatever. +2 Sword Stance. Well, +2 attack, just the 1 Sword Stance. And then Jinx will probably murder me. Nope, I outspeed it. Good stuff. Crunch Sweep. Okay, now I'm starting to think I should probably draw that money out from Mum. Because if I'm gonna keep getting phone calls like this, it's gonna annoy the crap out of me and it's gonna make me waste time. I'm not gonna fuss over it too much. How many people are over here? Just the one. I think that might be the last trainer that we have to fight here. Except for that sleeping sailor. So, who do I want to leave with here? Oh, we'll go with Talia. For this schmuck. That's cool. I'm surprised that these battles don't just, like, destroy the boat or anything like that. That's kind of what they did with the, Saint Anne in the anime. I wonder if the SSN ever actually, I wonder if the, hey! Oh, you dick. I didn't think Wake Up Slap would be that fucking powerful. It really shouldn't have had any right to be that powerful, but apparently it did. Whatever. I don't think you have to fight this guy, because he'll just sort of be like, no, you can't go this way. Yeah, and he'll just sort of block you from making progress over there. And you have to do it because there's another area that's over there that's unexplored, but for the time being, yep, just gonna go ahead and heal. No little dialogue saying, oh, this one feels better, so now it'll probably come with you, or some shit like that. But anyways. Hey, you fucking Snorlax. Oh. The man who must do whatever he can to preserve his reputation. Even though it's already down the fucking shitter because of various reasons. This thing shuttered. That means this thing has Stone Edge. I'ma switch out now. And it tries to cross-chop anyway. Okay, whatever. Hydro Pump you into the middle of next week. You did not have the right to tank that. Whatever. Okay, so, next team member. Better go through these last 5 in quick succession here. The next team member I had was a Bellsprout. I named this thing Dianea. I should have called it Mamelio. Was it Mamelio? Or was it something else? Nepenthes? I'm not too sure. But Dianea wasn't quite accurate for the type of plant that it was, but it worked anyway. Keeps the whole Trap Tricks theme going with my LPs and using grass types. I'm not too sure how long that's going to keep going for, because I think I might be able to use another Trap Tricks name if I ever use a Varplume in a future playthrough, but I've used Varplume before, so that's probably not going to happen. So there you go. Dianea was actually set up pretty similarly to Trap Tricks in this playthrough. Just 2 stab moves, Sleep Powder, and a stat-up move. That's basically how it worked. But she was quite good at it. She had Leaf Blade, and she had Sludge Bomb. I'm not too sure if they were both special, or if one of them was physical or not. This is back in Gen 3, so a move's type determined whether it was physical or special, which led to Crunch, which is quite clearly the biting an opponent and making physical contact, being counted as special because it was a dark move, and Shadow Ball being counted as a physical move just because it was a ghost move. It's very stupid the way that works out, but that was rectified for Gen 4, and so we have the physical special slip that is held on to this very day. So that's basically how my Victory Bell worked out. For my fire type, I had an Arcanine. I named this thing Butch after a dog that I had. Yeah, good stuff. Random Engine, reminding me of the, I can't even remember the Derelict level in Duke Nukem 3D. Very much. Okay, just random person walking around, and I guess you had to talk to her in order to initiate the battle. And she is named after my sister. So will this Seeking hit me with a special move? Nope, that's Waterfall. That's physical. In that case, we're just going to have to Earth Power and hopefully What does Earth Power drop? Special defense? Whatever, I'll go into Kaiser. Probably should have gone into Trap Tricks actually to get the double cash stack, but whatever. With any luck, that should be the last trainer battle. We can certainly hope that it will be. Yeah, it is. It's the last trainer battle because this only room in here is the captain's cabin. And since this is the only unexplored place in the entirety of the ship, you will in fact find the old man's granddaughter here. And she's just sort of terrorizing the captain, a bit like my youngest Bab niece with my father earlier, like yesterday. What's he got to say? Well, I kind of thought captaining was such a demanding job. I mean, take a look at Steve Smith. He has to get roasted by the fucking press every time they lose a game of cricket. And they're in fucking India. They're gonna fucking lose every single game that they play, except for the one that they actually did win. Quite comfortably. So, anyways, talk to her. You have found her, hide and seek, and then you take her back to this. And then he will give you some gift of some variety in the form of a metal coat, which is completely unchanged from the originals. And with that, the boat has arrived in Vermilion City. So I can talk about Butch in a little bit more detail as I go and explore Vermilion City. Although I'm pretty sure I have to I'm pretty sure as soon as I disembark, I'm going to end up running into Suicune again. So, you walk out, and then now that you have left the ship, well, boarding the ship means you can't go back to Johto for a while anyway, but, yeah, we're stuck in this region for a while. Until we have solved some certain crises. Also, I like the floor in this room. It's like glass, but it's actually got some kind of support on it, so you can see the water, just not quite as well as you would have liked. But I guess if you're looking at it from a first-person view, you'd have more than enough room to see underneath the water and actually see what Pokemon are sitting underneath the water. I already know what's in the water in this area, and I can tell you that I've caught all of that in the Johto region. As I said earlier on in the LP, there are literally only 2 Pokemon left that I have to catch with fishing rods, and they're in Route 19 and 20. So, there is the aforementioned Suicune. And of course, Ucine is just fucking here before me. I don't know how the fuck this guy gets around. Yeah, there's 2 other places that have that are sort of like a bayside like this, except this one actually has a port. So, there is a schmuck here. I think if you like talk to him once you've got all the badges, then he'll give you something. I don't think it's very noteworthy, but we walk over here, we'll find Snorlax. This Snorlax, you might not notice it, just out of lack of memory or anything like that, but this Snorlax actually has been moved. It was originally positioned a little bit further to the west, in a position where it actually blocks you from entering the Diglett's Cave. But you now actually have access to the Diglett's Cave in this, but you do not have access to the remainder of Route 11. If I did, I would be able to go through there and get the other 2 Kanto starters. Unfortunately, I can't do that. I'm not too sure when I'm going to be able to do that, because as far as I'm aware, there is actually a set path that you need to take in order to get through the Kanto region. If that involves gyms, then I may be a bit boned, because I kind of would like to go through them in the original order. Okay, so yeah, this actually tells you want to go to Pewter and Cerulean City. So I guess Drayano's made it so that you have to challenge them in order, which I'm not going to complain about, because that's exactly what I wanted to do in the first place. So I'm quite happy with that. Random Fingus here. Bring here the Spiff, yeah. That will be something that is sorted out a little bit later on. Piss off Cameron, I don't really give 2 shits. Not that you would ever construct anything in the history of video games actually being made in the Kanto region anyway, because that just didn't freaking exist. Like, you would say that'd be something for like the GTS or something like that, but the GTS in Heart Gold Soul Silver is in Goldenrod, so it doesn't matter in the absolute slightest. It would be stupid to position it here as well, because it's just the sole reason of it being so late in the game, you have to knock over the Pokemon League to get to it. Okay. And so he just tells you about that. I believe this is where you would originally get the old rod back in Fire and Leaf Green. Obviously, it got moved to a bit earlier in the game in Fire and Omega, and obviously, you know, old rod is like one of the first things you get right at the start of this game, so there you go. Anyways, continuing my discussion on Butch, he was not quite as great as I would have liked for him to be, probably because his fire moves were all special, and he was much better with his physical attack. It had extreme speed though, so it actually had a decent physical move, but overall, it was satisfactory, but it could have been a lot better. So, probably just a bit of a thing that maybe could have been. I might use another one later on in the in a later playthrough, but honestly, who knows? So, there you go. That's how that works. For my flying type, I had a Dodrio, based off of a Dodo, which is actually the name of an internet an ISP down here in Australia. And so as a result of this, I named it Broadband. It was a very stupid name. I cracked up quite a lot when I came up with the name, and it was on screen as well, so you get to see my reaction to it. And it worked about as well as you would have expected. It had a bit of pace on it. It had Tri-Attack, which was quite nice to see. Just like a good normal type move that is not like... It's not like the absolute norm. It's a bit more of a gimmicky one, but it actually does work out pretty damn well. It was my Fly Slave. I gave it Drill Peck so it didn't have to rely on Fly too much, and I can't remember what its last move was. But it worked out pretty well. The surprise package for my next team member was actually a Standler. I was waltzing around Safari Zone. I came across a Stantler and was just like, you know what, I'm going to give it a crack. I still only had 5 team members at this point, so I decided, well, I might as well give Stantler a crack. It was quite a surprise package. It got Calm Mind, so I was able to sweep up, and it had Hypnosis, so I was able to stop the opponent from doing much while I set up. The only thing that kept it from being perfect was the fact that it had Shadow Ball, and as I mentioned earlier, Shadow Ball is unfortunately counted as a physical move because it's a ghost type. That's just how it works out. So as a result, its Psychic was the only move that actually got the boost. And I actually had to get, I had to obviously get a boost out of it from somewhere because it didn't have stab moves. It's obviously being a normal type meant that its only real stab was physical, which didn't work out with this strategy because it was more special based. So I had to stick with just general type coverage. It worked out pretty well, aside from, you know, Shadow Ball not getting the Calm Mind boost. But aside from that, I was quite pleasantly surprised at how it worked out, so I was overall quite happy with it. And then my last team member was I named this thing Valerie Fawn, by the way, after Valerie Fawn, Mythical Beast of the Forest. It's a deer, so it makes sense. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. It's my second Yu-Gi-Oh reference of this. Actually, no, it's my second Yu-Gi-Oh reference of this team. Third one comes in the form of the Aggron as my last team member. I named it Artorigus, named after Noble Knight Artorigus, which is based off of King Arthur. The Noble Knight's archetype in general is just based off of the Knights of the Round Table, so I figured it would work in this situation. Also, just random Endure. God's slacking. Yeah. Specs Dragon Pulse for this thing. Smash to kill. Good stuff. And as you might expect from an Aggron, it sat there solely as a tank. I was actually quite surprised when I realized just how much of a counter to Crobat it was, because I had to deal with some Crobats in this playthrough. The Rival had one, I'm pretty sure Giovanni had one, and I know Agatha had one, and Artorigus sort of just laughed in their face because they couldn't Toxic, they couldn't do much with Shadow Ball, or like a flying attack, or like a poison attack, or anything like that. It just sat there and tanked. It tanked, it was also pretty good for dealing with Tyranitar, because it's immune to Sandstorm and stuff like that, gets the special defense boost. I'm not even sure if Special Defense Boost existed back in Gen 3. But whatever. I'm not going to fuss over it too much. Okay, so apparently due to the fact that Saffron City has had a blackout, we are actually blocked from going up to Saffron City. Which therefore means that we are shoehorned into going through Diglett's Cave. I am hoping to freaking God that I don't need to use cut, because if I have to go back, I'm going to be very, very annoyed. But anyways, Diglett's Cave, as you may expect. Why is it surprising? It's Diglett. Whatever. I will go ahead and super repel here. Let me actually bring up the locations list here to see if there's actually anything other than Diglett. No, I'm not adding a freaking bookmark, you moron. Let's see. Come on, hurry up. Where is it? Oh, wait, I've gone and skipped it past it. Come on, where is it? Diglett, Hippopotas, and Dugtrio. And today being Pastoral Sound actually gives me access to Dunsparce, which I already have. So, I will have absolutely no hesitation in using the repel. I'll have to come back here a little bit later because I have this ground path that I have to take, and as you can see, there's also an elevated path, but most of that is blocked off by rock climb thingies. So, yeah, just basically a quick detour to show you that Diglett's Cave is in the form of, I don't know what color this is, it's very, very weird. It's like a golden brown, kind of like the golden brown. It's just like cook 15 to 20 minutes in the oven until golden brown or some shit like that. Anyways, no cut tree here. I'm quite happy with that. That looks like a bug trainer, so I will go ahead and leave with Bulbat. If I'd actually gotten to Kanto in the previous segment, I might have actually been able to push to get to Route 2 earlier, because there actually is a Meridian Sound Pokemon here that I haven't got. And that is actually Pidgeot. I should probably actually see if there's anything in the grass here that I don't already have. Looks like I do not. So I'm quite happy with that. Wormadam I think gets Anticipation normally, so it probably shit itself the fact that I had a flying move. Good stuff. Okay, are you using all of the Wormadam forms? Yes, you are. Okay, fire off the Thunderbolt, because it won't resist it. And last but not least, Sandy Cloak, which gets murdered by Hydro Pump. There you go. You were actually interesting for a fleeting moment there. There you go. Random little isolated area which you have to access from Route 2. Only thing I know about it is if you headbutt in one of those trees there, you get Starly in the originals. I'm not too sure what you would get access to there, but it's probably not that interesting. It may still be Starly, in which case, no, it's definitely not interesting. Okay, so, Pewter City. First person you want to talk to here is this schmuck, because he will give you the Rainbow Wing. So once we are able to get back to the Johto region, I will be able to go straight to the Tin Tower. I think it's called the Bell Tower now. And get my hands on Ho-Oh, which will inherently allow me to get to the question mark and exclamation mark forms of Unknown. So that's a nice little bonus right there. What the hell is that? I need to find out what the hell that is. Is that just a random trainer or something like that? Or is that like a hidden item? Nope, it's the stone plate. Cool. Useful anyway. I should probably go and look up a locations list for those plates, because the rest of the plates that we haven't actually gotten yet are all hidden in Kanto somewhere. Except for one. Or two, maybe two. Because I know there's one like right at the top of Mount Silver, which counts as Johto, so yeah, I guess I was wrong with that. But whatever. I don't think there's a whole lot more to really explore here. I don't plan on going up against Brock in this segment. That's probably going to be for tomorrow's segment. So I could probably have a quick gander at Route 3. Knock over this schmuck, because I do have something that is, I guess, worth showing off. This guy has a freaking crowbat. Well fucking played. Obviously, I have to mirror match this guy. Come on. Yeah, kicked your ass. I have the sparklet. Oh, nasty plot. At least I'll have a good reason to use Sludge Bomb. Oh, that is awesome. Because there's a modest nature to give it to actually give it a boost to its special attack would be freaking amazing. I don't know what I want to cut for it though. Shit. Ugh. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I have access to an infinite amount of things. Okay, so I have access to an infinite amount of heart scales. If I decide on a good move set for Bulbat, that involves, like, if I decide on a good special set for Bulbat, then I will go with it. But for now, there's not much point in having it because I've got nothing but physical moves. So I'll stick with this for now, and if I decide to switch its move setup and make it special base, which I'm probably going to do, then I will roll with that. I'm quite happy to have actually gotten access to that. I just got to go back and use a heart scale on the schmuck. Regis. Yeah, it's an excellent name. But anyways, down here, your Pokemon will feel an odd presence around this area. There is in fact a presence here, but you can't get it right now. You have to come back once you have all 16 badges, and you have to come back at a certain time. I believe it's somewhere between midnight and 4 AM. And then you'll be able to encounter whatever the hell it is that's down here. But in the meantime, there is a series of meteorites, and as you could probably expect, a few games actually have these. I think every single game since Diamond and Pearl have had meteorites. Whether it was just a cluster of 4 like this, or just a single meteorite that you would just have to keep interacting with. The meteorites were designed for the purpose of changing the form of your Deoxys. This didn't exist in Gen 3 because in Gen 3, the form that Deoxys took was dependent entirely on the game. If you were playing Ruby and Sapphire, you'd get the normal form. Fire Red had the attack form, Leaf Green had the defense form, and Emerald had the speed form. Now, you would think that the normal form would be the most balanced, but it's actually just a less exaggerated version of the attack form. It's very, very weird. So that when we actually do fight Deoxys at some point, we're going to have to take into consideration that it has fuck all defenses. If it had its speed form, then it might be then it might have a bit more defense, as well as the defense form, of course, because it's defensive. But aside from that, there's not much else I can really talk about in regards to the Deoxys as of right now. So I guess what I'd like to know now is, can I go down in this direction? Really? Why exactly is the forest under police lockdown? That's very, very stupid. Because I was going to say, if I could go down to Radiant City, I might be able to go over to where the Victory Road is, and if I ended up out Indigo Plateau, I could fly back to Johto and go and catch Ho-Oh. I like how that rhymed. But no, that looks like we are pretty much shoehorned into... I don't think shoehorned is the correct statement. I think it's more like railroaded. But yeah, point is, we are railroaded into fighting Brock first, and then we're probably going to have to go and knock Misty over and do all that stuff. So at 34 minutes, I think we're about content to end the segment here, since there's not much else we can do in Vermilion City. There's not much point in going back. So there's not much I can really do in regards to catching stuff. So I guess we're just going to bring the segment here. I know it was a bit drony and a bit rambly towards the end, but at least we now know that we have our work cut out for us at this point. So next time I will be knocking over Brock, possibly getting to... Well, I'm going to be knocking over Brock. I imagine I'll be getting through to Mount Moon, which means it's going to be another rival fight. Let's hope it doesn't take 40 or 50 minutes just to get to Cerulean City. We can certainly hope that that'll be the case. But anyways, that's about it. I will see you tomorrow.